Hello, my name is Brandon Hawley, and this is the presentation on initiatives and referendums in Arizona, according to the Arizona Constitution. First, we're going to discuss what are initiatives and referendums. According to understanding the Arizona Constitution, our textbook for this course, the constitutional initiative allows citizens to make changes to the state's constitution on their own. The voters can use this process to add, modify, or remove language. In addition, in the case of referendums, the book goes on to define that as the most commonly used method for altering the Arizona Constitution, referring to referendums, with all constitutional amendments, voter approval is required. Next, we are going to discuss how these initiatives and referendums are created. First, to start an initiative, any registered voter in the state of Arizona can make a proposition and file it with the Secretary of State. The only parameter is that the proposition focuses on one topic. If the proposition receives enough signatures during the signature phase of this proposition in support of it, then it gets added to the ballot in the next general election where it can be voted on. To start a referendum, the legislator is the initiator, and if the proposal is approved through a majority vote by the House and Senate, then it is added to the ballot in the next election. In comparing the two, a distinguishable difference between an initiative and a referendum is that initiatives are set into motion by the average citizen, as long as they are a registered voter in Arizona, whereas referendums are set in motion by the legislator directly. Both methods, if the process is successful, still result in the proposal being included in the next general election on the ballot. Therefore, no matter what it is still up to the voters' approval, regardless of who initiated it. Next, looking at the pros and cons of the initiatives and referendums. Any registered voter can submit a proposal for an initiative with the Secretary of State. This is a pro, as any citizen, as long as they are a registered voter, can start this change, giving more power to the citizens. Another positive is the measure in which a referendum gets put on the ballot is by a simple majority vote in the legislature, which less complicates the process as opposed to the United States, who does a supermajority vote. The people's vote is ultimately what allows these measures to get passed, regardless of who starts the process. This is a particular positive because no matter who starts this process, it needs the majority vote of the citizens themselves for it to go into effect. Lastly, another pro is not even the governor is involved. This is in terms of referendums. If something is passed by the House and the Senate and goes on to be on the ballot, if it is voted for by the majority, it cannot be vetoed by the governor. Moving on to the cons of initiatives and referendums. In the case of an initiative, if an initiative does not receive enough signatures during the signature process, it does not make it to the ballot, even if it was in favor of the citizens. So if it was a great idea and potentially benefits the entirety of the community, if there isn't enough signatures gathered in support, it will not make it to the ballot. Another negative aspect is opponents of an initiative can take advantage of the one topic rule. This is in non-favor of group deals or bundled deals, package deals, will you? This is to avoid having to accept one aspect of a proposal and getting a bunch of other things lumped in with it that you don't necessarily agree with. So, to protect against that, all proposals must stick to the one topic rule. However, an opposing party can point out that your proposal does not necessarily stick to one topic and, in fact, has aspects of it that belong to multiple topics in which it could be thrown out. Another con in terms of referendums is it requires a more informed public to be effective. In this case, if the legislature were to pass something that they deem to be a benefit of the community, if the general public isn't well informed on how that affects them, they may not see the importance of it in voting for it. This requires the general public to be informed in political matters regarding their state, which can be seen as a positive, but if the general public doesn't take that initiative to get themselves informed, it can be a negative. Lastly, these two aspects of the Arizona Constitution are all in efforts to support democracy. The notion of democracy is a government structured for the people by the people. And the processes outlined in Arizona's Constitution, such as initiatives and referendums, are examples of efforts to uphold that principle for its citizens. One aspect that's important about this is letting citizens experience being able to make changes as they see fit and being able to see processes that they set into motion become part of the policy. I believe that if more citizens are able to see these tangible methods of citizen rights and powers, it may help push political involvement on the masses. Seeing efforts that help display that their vote matters is important. And these are good steps to start that. Thank you.